我们强烈谴责任何在背后煽动指使暴力事件的分裂主义势力和西方特殊利益集团。我们要强烈谴责。西藏是中国的一部分，已有700多年的历史。从现存记载的各种历史文化遗迹都显示，自元朝开始，西藏就并入中国，并接受中央政府治理和管辖，一直到现在。公元13世纪1271年，西藏前统治者与中国的元朝皇帝忽必烈正式议定西藏归属中国的协定，包括呈现图册、交纳贡物、接受派官设置。自此，西藏正式成为中国的一个行政区域，这比发现欧洲殖民美洲新大陆还要早100多年。以后的几百年中，中国的中央政权和西藏地方政权虽几经更迭，但西藏地方政府与中央政权的关系不断加强，西藏作为中国一个行政区域的地位从未动摇。在2008年3月14日的暴乱中，许多无辜平民，特别是许多居住在拉萨的汉族和回族平民，成为恐怖分子、藏族分离分子、集体流氓的故意加害对象。乙醇服务店的5位少女营业员，4名汉族、1名藏族被歹徒活活烧死在店内。一家摩托车店铺夫妻、店主等5人，包括一位不到8个月的男婴，被暴徒燃起的大火烧焦。这样的暴行使我们在渥太华地区的留学生和华人感到震惊和愤怒。难道说这样的暴行是加拿大媒体所说的和平示威吗？难道说这样的暴行是一种文化传统吗？难道说这样的行为是民主政治的自然结果吗？加拿大媒体把这样的暴行说成和平示威，是何等的缺乏职业道德！我们非常遗憾地看到，在之后的数周，加拿大的各种媒体充满着对中国政府和汉族群众的歪曲报道、恶意攻击和重伤，夸大污蔑执行机关维护治安的正常行动。部分媒体竟然无视汉回族群众的惨痛伤亡，继续鼓动藏独分离分子采取进一步暴力示威行动，挑拨藏族和汉回等其他民族的矛盾。示威抗议是对人权自由的一种表现形式，但是这种自由不应该建立在损害他人的人权和生命之上，应该有很多别的途径来表达个人的意见和政治需要。暴力屠杀其他民族绝对是非法的，而且是重大罪行。我们对在暴乱中被歹徒烧死打死的无辜汉回群众表示深深的哀悼，并强烈谴责任何在背后策划这场流血事件的组织和外国机构。加拿大媒体歪曲的评论和宣传对各方没有任何积极的意义，很多这样的放纵无根据的言论只能进一步恶化现在西藏的形势，并有激发进一步民族矛盾的可能。世界只有一个中国，56个民族都是中国大家庭的成员，没有任何人、任何势力、任何组织能把任何少数民族从中国分裂出去。任何这样的企图无疑是注定徒劳和失败的。
One China and no violence. On March 14, 2008, a riot happened in Lhasa. Mobs launched racial attacks on ethnic Han Chinese and ethnic Hui Muslim Chinese. This riot caused many civilian deaths. We, Chinese, living in Ottawa, are outraged by such violence towards civilians and come to be deeply disturbed by biased media coverage at many Canadian television stations, newspapers, and magazines. We condemn any attempt to provoke racial tensions in Tibet coming from separatist groups and Western special interest groups. Tibet has been part of China for hundreds of years. Tibet has been part of China for hundreds of years. An imposing array of valuable cultural relics and display at the Sagya Monastery in Lhasa prove that Tibet became part of China from Yuan Dynasty and remained under the administration of the central government of China since then. According to the historic records of the monastery, from Kublai Khan, the founding emperor of the Yuan Dynasty, asked Fox Fa, head of the Sagya Monastery, to be his spiritual guide or senior official of the central government. After Kublai Khan had created the Yuan Dynasty from 1271, the history of Tibet within China is far longer than the advent of Western settlers of the North American continent. In the rout of March 14, 2008, many innocent civilians, especially the ethnic Han and ethnic Hui Muslim Chinese who are living in Lhasa, were deliberately targeted by the terrorists, mobs, and separatists. 5 teenage girls working as clerks in the Yi-Chun shop were burned to death. The charge remained 5 persons were found later on, including an 8-month-old boy killed when the motorcycle shop he was in and was set fire by ruthless mobs. Such atrocities shocked all the Chinese community. Is this atrocity a peaceful protest?
No! Certainly not!
Is this atrocity in line with some cultural traditions?
No!
Is this atrocity a peaceful protest?
No!
Is this atrocity a natural outcome of the democracy movement?
No!
It's shameful to see Canadian media describe such event as peaceful protest.
Yes!
Unfortunately, in the past week, the Canadian mass media has been full of biased allegations concerning China and ethnic Han Chinese. Some Canadian media have actually provoked and encouraged violence in the Tibet by distorting events there, overstating the vehemence of efforts law enforcement officials used, and failing to highlight what was indeed racial violence unleashed by Tibetan mobs and the Tibetan separatists in Lhasa. Protest is a natural expression of human rights. However, protest should not be expressed through means that effectively destroy others' human rights. There are lots of ways to express personal and political objectives. Killing innocent other ethnic civilians is not a legitimate act. It is instead a moral crime. Our deep sympathy goes to innocent ethnic Han Chinese and ethnic Hui Muslim Chinese that terrorists burned to death in Lhasa. We must condemn any route that harms innocent civilians. We condemn any organizations and groups that may turn out to have been behind this blood killing. The biased comments and propaganda from Canadian media will do no good to any party. Such intemperate language can only help to bring about further deterioration of the situation in Tibet and provoke more racial violence.
Yes!
Thank you.